Hello, JDL Elections Analysis here with a video on the California primary results. A couple of months ago, California held their primaries, and due to California having a top two primary system, they're pretty predictive of how the general election will go. Despite this, these primaries aren't being talked about enough for what they may implicate. In the top two primary, all the candidates compete to advance to a general, and as the name implies, only two advance. In order to best gauge where the state of California is at, we will look at the special Senate election primary where Steve Garvey and Adam Schiff advanced. There are three reasons for this. The first reason is that the margin in the Senate race will likely match the presidential race. The second reason is there are fewer candidates in the special Senate election, making it easier to combine and tally all the Republican votes versus Democrat votes. And the third reason is that the special Senate primary had higher turnout than the regular Senate primary. We will also look at the competitive congressional races. Before getting into these results, we will first look at the 2020 presidential results out of California. As you probably already know, California is the most populous state and one of the bluest states, as Biden nearly won it by 30 percentage points. What you may not know is that California is one of the few states to vote more for Trump in 2020 than it did in 2016. California had two counties flip in 2020, both for Biden from Trump. Inyo County, which was decided by 14 votes and is on the border with Nevada, then Butte County in Northern California. Biden also won Stanislaus County by less than a percentage point. Trump's gains in the state came from a massive shift of 17 percentage points in Imperial County, a 5% shift in Los Angeles County, and some minor shifts in the Bay Area. Most of the state didn't see massive shifts, but Biden did make some significant gains in the counties on the border with Nevada and northern coastal counties. Now on to the primary results. As you can see, Republicans seem to be making massive inroads in the state of California. The margin went from D plus 29.82% in 2020 to about D plus 21.5% now, a shift of about 8.3% towards Republicans. Republicans look poised to flip 8 counties, which would also give them a majority of counties in California. Let's first look at the counties Biden flipped. In Inyo, which Biden won by 14 votes or 0.15%, Republicans are now winning by 5%, which is a modest shift. In Butte County, which Biden won by 1.71%, Republicans are winning by 6.6%, a shift in line with their statewide gains. Stanislaus, which I mentioned earlier, saw a massive shift towards Republicans as is now voting for them by an 11.8% margin after going for Biden by 0.81%, a 12.6% shift. Republicans also look like they will flip other Central Valley counties, Merced and Fresno counties. Merced went for Biden by 10.85%, but is now voting Republican by 6.4%, a 17-point shift. Fresno went for Biden by about 8 points in 2020, but is now going for Republicans by a similar margin. Republicans also look to flip back Orange County, once a Republican stronghold, as it went for Republicans by 0.8% after going for Biden by 9.23%, a 10-point shift. But as well known as Orange County is, it's actually the two Inland Empire counties of Riverside and San Bernardino that Republicans are doing better in. In Riverside County, the Republicans are now leading by 2.4% after losing to Biden by 8.11% in 2020, another 10-point shift. However, San Bernardino has the bigger shift of these three SoCal counties as it goes from voting for Biden by 10.9% to now voting for Republicans by 4.9%. There are also 5 counties decided by less than 10% won by Democrats I would like to highlight. The first is Lake County, which recently voted for Democrats by 6%, a minuscule 0.5% shift towards Republicans. Republicans almost halved the margin in Nevada County, bringing it down to 8.8% from 15.17%. San Joaquin saw a massive shift of about 12.4% after going for Biden for 14.19%, but now only voting for Democrats by 1.8%. San Luis Obispo also saw their margin almost get halved as the margin decreased from 13.4% to 7.6%. Finally, Imperial County continues to see massive shifts, once again seeing a 17-point shift, and now only voting for Democrats by 7.6%. Imperial County only gave Trump 26% of the vote in 2016, but now looks to be a little competitive. Now looking at the county shifts rather than margins, you can see almost every county shifted towards Republicans, though some more than others. The two counties, Alpine and Del Norte, that shifted towards Democrats are two of the least populated, and neither saw massive shifts. If you're wondering why some counties are seeing larger shifts than others, just look at this map. As you can see, counties with a higher percentage of Hispanic populations are having larger shifts. These counties are predominantly in Southern California and the Central Valley. However, there are a few northern counties as well. Colusa County has the largest shift of about 25.5%, and Tulare and Glenn counties are not far behind, both having shifts of over 20 points. Kern and other Central Valley counties also saw massive shifts over 15%. San Diego, Los Angeles, Ventura, Santa Barbara, and Monterey counties also saw significant shifts towards Republicans. These counties make up a significant amount of raw votes. Also, polling has California being decided by about 21 points like the primary. The three polls in the Real Clear Politics average also performed polls in 2020. Berkeley IGS, the most favorable to Trump right now, was off in 2020, but in favor of Biden. PPIC's final poll had a 26-point race, which is within the margin of error, but their second to last poll was dead on the money with a 29-point margin. Emerson was also dead on with a 30-point margin. Odds are the 21.5% margin is not far off from the general election result. Now moving on to the House. I've already filled out the congressional districts that are rated safe. Safe means that a race is not really competitive, and that it's being decided by more than 10 percentage points. Likely means that the race is a little competitive and will be decided from 5 to 10%. Lean means it's very competitive, but one side has an advantage, and that will be decided from 1 to 5 percentage points. Tilt means that it's truly a toss-up and will be decided by less than 1 percentage point. Democrats start with 36 seats, while Republicans start with 5. 11 seats are up for grabs. As you can see, most of the competitive districts overlap with counties that had the strongest gains towards Republicans. We'll first look at California's 3rd district along the border with Nevada, where Kevin Kiley is running for re-election. The 2020 margin for this district was 1.8% in favor of Trump, and Kiley won it by 7.2% in 2022. Looking at the primary, I'm actually tempted to rate the race as safe in favor of Kiley, as he got 55.9% of the vote. However, looking at the 2022 primary, Republicans combined for 55.9% as well, but Kiley underperformed and won by a likely margin. With that, we'll characterize the race as likely, but I don't see much of a chance for Jessica Morse to flip the seat. Kiley could very well end up winning by a safe margin, and the margin is really what's more in doubt. Now looking at the San Joaquin County-based 9th district. Biden won the district by 12.6%, and Josh Harder won by 9.6% in 2022. Looking at the primary, Harder only got 49.7% of the vote, while Republicans got a slight majority. With that being said, I rate this race as likely for a multitude of reasons. Looking at 2022, Democrats combined for 50.1% of the vote in the primary, and Harder still won by a comfortable margin. While Kevin Lincoln, the mayor of Stockton, is a strong candidate, Harder massively outperformed Biden in 2020. Maybe it could be closer, or Lincoln even ekes out a win, but I find it unlikely. The Central Valley based 13th District went for Biden by 10.9% in 2020, and Duarte won by 0.4%, which was the second closest House race of 2022. In 2024, Duarte faces a rematch against Adam Gray. In the primary, Duarte led Gray by 9.8%, a likely and almost safe margin. While Republicans did underperform their primary results margin in 2022 by 3.2%, that isn't enough for me to rate this as lean. Rematches also tend not to go well for the losers, and it's always tough to unseat an incumbent. I know this is breaking from the consensus, but likely Duarte. The Fresno-based 21st District was won by a 20.3% margin in 2020 by Joe Biden, and Jim Costa won in 2022 by 8.4%. In 2024, he faces a rematch against a strong challenger in Michael Maher, and the primary only had a likely margin of 6%. Add on to that, in 2022, Jim Costa underperformed the primary Democrat margin by 5.6%. Due to that, I rate the race as lean Costa. The Southern Central Valley based 22nd District was won in 2020 by a 12.9% margin by Joe Biden, and David Valadao, one of two remaining Republicans who voted to impeach Trump, won by a 3% margin in 2022. Valadao faces a rematch against Rudy Salas. In the primary, Republicans had a 9.4% advantage on Democrats. In 2022, Republicans held a similar advantage over Salas in the primary, yet underperformed that margin by 6.6%. With that, I don't think this district has really moved much since 2022. Lean Valadao. The Northern Los Angeles County-based 27th District was won by a 12.4% margin by Joe Biden in 2020, and Mike Garcia won by a 6.4% margin in 2022. In the primary, Mike Garcia held a 9.8% advantage over Democrats, and in 2022, Mike Garcia improved on the Republicans' primary margin by 5.6% in the general. Based on these results, it's tempting to rate the race as safe, but Democrats have a solid candidate in George Whitesides. Likely Garcia. The Northeast Orange County-based 40th District was won by Joe Biden by 1.9% in 2020 and won by Young Kim by 13.6% in 2022. In the primary, Young Kim held a 12.8% lead over the Democrats. In 2022, Young Kim underperformed the Republican primary margin by 4.6%. Based on this, likely Kim. The Riverside County-based 41st District was won by Trump in 2020 by a 1.1% margin, and Ken Calvert won by 4.6% in 2022. Calvert faces a rematch against Will Rawlins and led the primary against Democrats by a 6% margin. In 2022, he underperformed the primary margin by 1%. I'm rating the race as likely Calvert, though it could end up having a lean margin. It's right on the line for me. The Western Orange County-based 45th District was won by Joe Biden in 2020 by a 6.2% margin, and Michelle Steele won by 4.8% in 2022. In the primary, Steele had a 9.8% advantage over Democrats. In 2022, however, she underperformed the Republican primary advantage by 8.8% in the general. Due to this, we're rating the race as lean Steele, though it has a wide range of possibilities from being a toss-up to a safe Steele. The Southern Orange County-based 47th District was won by Joe Biden in 2020 by an 11.1% margin, and Katie Porter won by 3.4% in 2022. Katie Porter has now retired from the seat for her failed Senate run, making this an open race. The two candidates are Dave Min for the Democrats and Scott Baugh for the Republicans. In the primary, Republicans held a 2.5% advantage over the Democrats, which is great news for them because in 2022, the primary margin perfectly matched the general elections margin. Add on to this, Dave Min is a scandal-plagued candidate due to getting caught with a DUI in a government vehicle, and Democrats had a divisive primary, and Republicans are more united behind Baugh. It may be a surprise to some people, but I'm very confident in this rating. Lean Baugh for our first predicted flip of the video. The last race we will be looking at is the 49th District split between Orange and San Diego counties. In 2020, Joe Biden won this district by 11.4%, and Mike Levin won by 5.2% in 2022. In the primary, Mike Levin held a 2% advantage over Republicans. In 2022, Democrats held a 2.8% advantage in the primary, and Levin overperformed that by 2.4%. I will be rating this race as Lane Levin. Overall, Republicans look like they will defend all of their seats and flip one from Democrats, leaving them in a strong position to retain control of the House. The key takeaways of the video are: 1. Republicans are making gains in California. 2. Latinos' continued massive shift towards Trump and Republicans is for real. 3. Trump and Republicans are poised to win the presidency in both chambers of Congress. Hard to see a reality where Trump and Republicans do this well in California, yet still lose. 4. Silver lining for Democrats is that this may mean the Electoral College bias towards Republicans could be decreasing. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Comment down below and follow me on social media. Finally, please share the content. Over and out.